Well, it's been a couple of weeks since I did my last tool review, and I can't go that long without money burning a hole in my pocket. So I've accumulated a couple of new toys for the shop, so let's check them out in today's video. So if you watched last week's video, you'll know that I'm continuing to work on these cabinets, which will hopefully store all these new tools. And I probably have 2 or 3 more videos until I get those cabinets done. But even when I'm working on projects for the shop, I'm always keeping an eye open looking for those tools that I think we can all benefit from looking at. And this week is no different. In fact, it's those cabinets that inspire me to purchase 2 of the items that we're going to take a look at today. So let's not waste any more time and take a look at our first tool, which I hope to use on my next video for those cabinets. Have you ever noticed when you're working on something or you Google something, you tend to get a lot of ads for a product? And this kind of creeps me out a bit, as I feel like some of these AIs are keeping a closer eye on you than you think. Alexa, are you watching me?
I'm designed to protect your privacy, so I can stream images or video to the cloud if your camera
Alexa,
is turned on.
shut up. But we're not here to talk about conspiracies today. We're here to talk about tools. And this first tool is one that I didn't even need to Amazon Deep for, as Alexa kept on asking me if I wanted to purchase this item.
Brian, you don't need to Amazon Deep anymore. I'm right here watching you every day.
Maybe I should be worried. Well, regardless, let's get into our first tool. Bert, hook me up. Bert?
Oh, you won't need Bert anymore, Brian.
What?
Bert is exactly where he should be in his trailer.
Okay, but he usually tosses me the tools.
Don't worry, I've got you, bro.
Guess it doesn't matter to me. I'll probably get more likes on my videos.
I can guarantee that. Here you go.
So this is the Botuda Labor Saving Handle. Let's check this out. You got quite the arm over there.
Bert taught me everything I know.
No wonder they say AI isn't that smart yet. So right off the bat, I'm already impressed with this tool, as it comes in a nice hard shell carrying case. But let's get into this box and see what comes with it. If we open the box, you can see that it comes with 2 lever arm lifters, as well as a couple of clamp jaws and some covers. Now I'm not quite sure what to call this tool, as they call them lifters as well as handles, but let's take them out of the box and get a better idea of how they work. So as we said earlier, this set comes with 2 lifter handles as well as 2 clamping jaws. It also comes with some clamping pads and some wing screws as well as a couple of nuts. It's those wing screws and nuts that allow you to easily add and remove those clamping jaws. Now that we have the clamping jaw attached, let's take a look at the functionality of this tool. First off, I want to start off by saying the entire construction of this tool is made out of metal. The only plastic on the entire tool is the clamping jaw that we just installed. Even the handles on this tool are also made out of metal, which gives it a really firm feel. And here's a look at how that handle works. You can see as we squeeze the trigger, it engages with that spring, causing the whole unit to lift. And if you want to go in the opposite direction, there's another button on the tool. On the very top of the trigger, there's also a thumb knob that also engages with the spring that allows you to lower it. Now some of you may be asking, sure, this thing might be great for lifting, but isn't this clamp jaw going to get in the way? Well, this thing's got a pretty neat design. If we take that clamping pad off, you can see that it folds very nicely right against the frame of the tool. And with everything collapsed like this, there really is no interference from that clamping jaw. So let's next take a look at how much lift you can get from this tool. And there really is 2 variations, one with the clamping jaw installed and the other with it removed. Now, although it may be a little bit difficult to see, there are measurements on the bar of the tool. And when that clamping jaw is attached, you can see that we get almost exactly 6 inches. But if we remove that clamp, we can squeeze out a couple more, giving us just about 9 inches. So how do I intend on using this tool? Well, let me show you with those cabinets that I was talking about earlier. Now some of these voids are going to have some doors, and these doors are going to have European style hinges. Although I don't have the doors made, we can grab a sheet of plywood and show you how I'll use them to place our doors. The first thing that I'll do is I'll place these lifters right in front of that cabinet. Once I have those in place, I can then take my makeshift door and slide it right on top. And now that everything's in place, I can squeeze the triggers until I get the height I'm looking for. And with the appropriate height set on those lifters, I can now move them to wherever I want so that I can make my markings. And not only can this be used to assist you in setting the height of your cabinet door, but they could also be used in setting the position of your bottom drawer fronts. Not to mention they're even strong enough to lift some of your heaviest doors. And with the attachable clamp head, these things are really flexible, and I see a lot of potential with this tool. In fact, leave me a comment below for how you might use this tool in your shop. Well, that's going to take us through our first tool of the day, and I'm really impressed with that Botuda lifter handle thingamajob. Now let's move on to our second tool. So the next tool we're going to take a look at today is one that complements a tool I took a look at a couple of weeks ago, and that's the Dovoh 4-plane laser level. Now if you remember from that video, there's a lot of things that I like about this level. Specifically, it has 4 planes. It's the 2 vertical and 2 horizontal lasers that really set this tool apart. And the combination of the 2 can really make layout a breeze. Now this Dovoh laser level is one of the brightest that I've ever taken a look at, and I've taken a look at quite a few. But sometimes at longer distances and brighter environments, the brightness of your laser may degrade. So I reached out to Dovoh and I asked them if they have anything that can assist with this. And surprisingly, they just came out with a new product that's made specifically for this issue. And that's exactly what we're going to take a look at next. So let's ask our little AI friend if she can toss us a tool. Alexa, you want to hand me that next tool?
Before I do that, I've got a joke for you.
Okay, go ahead, shoot. Laser.
What does a fart laser sound like?
I don't know.
Pew pew.
Does anybody else miss Bert?
Bert's the one who asked me to ask you that joke. That's with an ASS.
Figures. Will you just hand me that next tool?
You bet. I gotcha, cuz.
So this is the Dovoh High Accuracy Laser Receiver. Let's take a look at it. So inside the box, you're going to get a receiver as well as a carrying case. It also comes with instructions, a holding clip, as well as some batteries. So let's take a look at the display and some of the features of this tool so that we can see how it's used. If we look at the very front of the tool, you'll notice that there's a lit LED display, and this is on both sides of the tool. This is the area that will give you an indication of whether or not your tool is aligned with the laser. Below that display are 3 buttons. The button on the right is a button for adjusting the accuracy of the reception. The second button in the middle is the on and off button. And lastly, the button on the left is the audio signal button. On the very top of the tool, you'll find 2 very strong magnets. This allows you to easily attach that receiver to any magnetic surface. If we continue on to the front of the tool, you'll notice that there's 2 yellow areas. At the very top is the good old-fashioned bubble level. On the very right is the laser receiver. Now let's take a look at the back of the tool so that I can show you how that mounting bracket attaches. If we turn the receiver over, you'll notice that there's 2 notches on the side of the tool, and there's also 2 stubs on the mounting bracket. These 2 pieces fit perfectly together and lock into place. And once attached, you can use that clamping bracket to lock on to any surface. So now that you have an idea of the construction of this tool, let's take a look at how it works. First off, I mentioned there's a volume button, and that's because there's an auditory alarm when you hit your alignments, and you can turn it louder or even off. To be able to use this receiver, you're obviously going to need some sort of laser, and this receiver can read both red and green lasers, and it's not brand specific. If you have any laser level, this tool should be able to be used. So first off, I'll turn on my laser so that it shines on this board. So with that laser on, I'll take the receiver and lower it until it hits the receiver. And as you can see, the receiver is telling me to go lower with the arrow until I hit that midpoint, and then the arrow will point up, telling me to go higher. Now that's all fine and dandy, but I want to test this out in a bright environment. So I'm going to shine this laser on that tree right there and see if we can get the same readings. Now if I move closer to this tree, I can't see any laser at all, but let's put this tool up to the test and see if we can get a readout. And here we go. As you can see, it's telling me to go higher until I hit that midpoint, and then the tool will tell me to go lower. So the laser is shining right about there. Now this tool is also supposed to be able to handle long distances, as far as 400 feet. So I'm going to attempt a readout on the tree that's way down there, across from my pond. So I'll take my receiver and move it up and hopefully get a reading. And there it is. So the laser is right about there. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty impressed. The ability for this receiver to handle high light as well as distances appears to be not a problem at all. Now, we did horizontal laser readings with this receiver, but it can also accommodate vertical readings. To accommodate the vertical lasers, all we need to do is rotate the tool 90 degrees and it will accommodate any vertical laser. And lastly, if you can't see that laser, the tool makes it very easy to strike a line where that laser is. And that's because if you look on the side of the tool, you'll see a hash mark that shows you exactly where your laser is. So I really couldn't be more impressed with this tool. And just like before, Dovoh is being very generous by doing a giveaway on this channel. So leave the word Dovoh in the comments below to be entered to win this amazing tool. Well, that's going to take us through 2 tools so far. Before we move on to our third, I ask you to do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and leave a comment. It really does help out this small growing channel. Also, just like I do with all my videos, if any of these tools interest you, I'll leave links in the description below so you can go check out these tools for yourself. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, check out my website, www.flynndogwoodwork.com. There you can find some shop updates as well as some fun woodworking accessories like the shirts I wear in my video. Well, let's move on to our third tool of the day, which I'm honestly a little bit skeptical of. Now, even though I'm skeptical about the tool, it's made by a brand that has a great reputation and I even have some of their tools already. So what is this brand? Well, it's MicroJig, and you probably have some of their tools like the gripper or even their match fit system. But this is something completely different. It's an accessory for your shop that claims it can extend the life of your saw blades as well as your router bits. But let's see if these claims are true and check out our next item. Alexa, that's your cue.
Wait, hold on, can I tell one more joke?
I guess, as long as it's clean.
Oh, it's clean, don't you worry.
Knock yourself out.
So, I took a bath with Bubbles last night.
Okay.
Bubbles was the stripper I met at the dance club. Ha 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 ha.
Oh my God, you're even beginning to look like Bert. Will you at least hand me that next tool?
Sure thing. Here you go, brah.
So this is the MicroJig Blade and Bit Cleaning System. Let's check it out. So this is obviously a pretty unique looking accessory. This is designed to help clean your blades as well as your router bits. The more you use a saw blade or a router bit on wood, the more it's going to accumulate a lot of particles. Not only that, but the sap or the resin of the wood is really going to degrade those blades and make them duller over time. So a quick and easy way to refresh your blades and bits is to clean them, and that's what this tool is all about. So let's take a closer look at this cleaner and see how it works. If we do a bird's eye view, you'll notice that there's a few accessories that have a home right on the top of this tool. Now to me, this is a great feature, especially for a tool that you're not going to be using on a daily basis. Having all those accessories on the lid of this tool is going to prevent you from losing them. If we dig into these accessories, you'll see that there's a magnetic handle. On the right hand side, there's the wire brush. On the top, you'll find a rotary tool mandrel, and at the very bottom, you're going to find the aluminum oxide router bit cleaning discs. You probably also noticed that big green round circle in the middle. Let's unscrew that and see what's inside. If we unscrew that top, you're going to find the router bit cleaning well. And it's this well that's going to hold your cleaning solution or your degreaser to clean your router bits. If we look at the underside of the lid, you'll see that there's 5 holes. There's 3 holes that can accommodate 1/2 inch shank bits, as well as 2 holes that will accommodate your 1/4 inch shanks. Now that we've taken a look at the top, let's open this up and see what's on the inside. You'll first notice that there's 2 latches on either side of the unit to keep that cleaning solution secure when it's not in use. Once both sides are unlatched, you can see inside is the blade cleaning well as well as the blade clean pad. And that's about all there is to the physical construction of this MicroJig system. But how do you use this thing? Well, luckily for you, I've got some dirty blades as well as some router bits. Actually, I'm pretty sure I don't have any clean ones. So let's first start off by cleaning the saw blade that's actually on my table saw. Now before we do anything, you're going to need some cleaner. And in my case, I just bought a gallon of Simple Green. And any all-purpose cleaner should work. You just have to make sure that it's not corrosive or something like an oven cleaner. Once we have the cleaner, we now need to fill the 2 wells. We first need to fill the router well, and this takes about 16 to 20 ounces. There's also a fill line for a visual cue. After we fill that, we'll lock the green lid in place so that we can fill the saw well. After that, we can take off the top and place it to the side. With that top removed, we can pour the remaining solution into the saw well. Now that we have both wells filled, let's grab the saw blade from my table saw for cleaning. So for this process, I'm going to grab that magnetic handle from the top of the lid. Then I can raise my saw blade and remove that arbor nut. Then I can use that magnetic handle to easily remove that blade. Now it's going to be a good idea to have a towel ready for this process so that we don't make a mess. I'll place my blade right on top of that towel and let's take a look at how dirty this blade is. Now it might be a little bit difficult to see, but you can really see the residue build up on the side of each one of these teeth, and that's what we're going to try to clean up. You'll also see build up on the inside of the teeth, especially right before the gullet. In theory, by removing this residue, we should be able to get a cleaner cut, so let's get to it. The first thing that I want to do is to take that magnetic handle and place it right across the center of that blade. Now that the blade's attached, I'm going to place it into the cleaning solution and make sure it's fully submerged for about 10 to 30 seconds. Once that time is up, you now want to rotate the blade in the opposite direction of the cut for one full turn, making sure you're applying slight downward pressure towards the cleaning pad. Once we have one side clean, we can now remove it and place it onto our towel. Then we can remove the magnetic handle, flip the blade over, and attach it to the other side. Once that's done, we'll repeat the process by submerging the other side of the blade. And after that time's up, we'll once again rotate the blade in the opposite direction of the cut. Now we could remove this blade and call it clean. However, there is one optional thing you can do as well. And that's to simply take the blade out and spin the teeth in the opposite direction of the cut on the bottom pad. So now that all that's done, let's take this out and take a look at the results on this towel. And I'll have to say, I am blown away. All that residue that was on all the outside of those teeth is completely gone. This blade looks brand new. Well, that is certainly impressive. I honestly thought this was a gimmick, but after seeing those results, I'm going to do this to the rest of my blades. But we're not done yet. That's only half the functionality of this cleaning tool, so let's clean some router bits. To do this, I first want to reattach that lid to the saw well. After that, we can unlock and take off the router well lid. Now let's take a look at some of the router bits we'll be cleaning. Just like with the saw blades, you can see all that residue and buildup on the inside of the blade as well as the outside of the bit. And today I've got 2 1/4-inch shank bits as well as 1 1/2-inch shank. The first thing that I'll do is I'll slide the bits into the appropriate holes on the bottom of the lid. With those bits in place, I'll now take them and place them into that router well. While those bits are soaking, I'm now going to grab a drill or a rotary tool. Now that I have my drill, I'm now going to grab the mandrel as well as one of these cleaning discs. And we're just going to add that cleaning disc to the mandrel by unscrewing the mandrel and adding the cleaning disc. With that cleaning brush attached, I can now add it to my drill or my rotary tool. And now that our bits have soaked for a while, I can now remove them from the router well and spot clean them with the cleaning brush. And the lid from the router well makes a great way to hold the bits as you clean them. Now that all those bits are clean, let's take a closer look. Once again, I'm completely blown away at how well this cleaning tool works. The blades on these bits look completely clean and polished, and they look better than they have in years. In fact, they look brand new. Now the only accessory that I didn't really use is that steel brush, and that's just to get some of those more stubborn areas. In fact, I might even save this for Bert. I think his teeth could use a good cleaning. Lastly, another advantage of this cleaning system is you can store all of that cleaning solution in the tool until you need it next time. Well, unfortunately, I had to buy it to believe it. This MicroJig system is not a gimmick. In fact, it's so good, it's going to become part of my regular maintenance routine, and hopefully over the long run, it'll actually save some money on blades and bits. Well, I really appreciate you joining me today on checking out all of these tools. This was a fun one for me, and each one of these tools surpassed my expectations. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and leave a comment. It really does help out this small growing woodworking channel. Also, make sure you check out my website, www.flynndogwoodwork.com. Until next time, take care as always.